Good evening! Welcome to Family Showdown! Tonight we're gonna show down with our top 10. It's Halloween tomorrow. So, we thought we'd celebrate a little bit early with you guys, because we're gonna be out doing family stuff tomorrow. So, without further ado, let's talk about, besides our awesome Luchador mask, of course, our top 10 games that we don't really get to play very often, but we're never gonna get rid of. Because we like them just that darn much. That's the entire title. That was the Hunter version.
That's the official.
That's the Hunter version of that title.
Official title.
Yes.
Or
and if you don't like it, too bad. What? I like this list. There's something about wearing these masks. It does something.
Makes you want to tackle somebody.
That does.
Make them play a board game.
Yeah. Play a board game, reals. I'm ready.
Wow.
Bring it.
Okay.
What's your number 10?
All right. So, to clarify the list.
I can't see my list.
These are games that we love, but we hardly ever get to play them for whatever reason. For our case, it's usually massively long, or it takes more than 2 players to play, or it has some kind of sentimental value, and we don't want to get rid of it. So
they could run the gambit. They could be amazing games. They could be meh games because of those different reasons.
Well,
I believe all of mine are awesome. Awesome.
All but 3 of my games have a story behind them. So it's going to be story time with Luchador Hunter this evening.
That is the best title ever. Story time with Luchador Hunter. Once upon a time.
So yeah, 7 are stories and 3 are not stories.
You said every one of them had a story.
No, I said 7 of them had a story.
Can I just make it stuff up? I wonder if I can drink.
So before we jump into our list, stick around for the end. We're going to do an unboxing because we probably won't have another live stream until probably the weekend, and I want to open the games.
That works.
So there you go.
You're too happy for a Luchador. You gotta be mean.
I'm the happy Luchador.
Oh, you are? The happy Luchador. I see all these children's books.
With my happy stories.
I'm gonna have a whole like series of books now. The happy Luchador.
All right.
Story time with Hunter.
So you want to start us off? Oh, wait,
of course.
Hold on, I gotta get to where. Hold on. Give me a second.
I have to adjust my. Is this how people with bifocals are? They have to like look just right to see stuff.
All right, I think I'm ready.
All right. You ready? Okay.
Again, this is our top 10 games we rarely play, but we will never get rid of.
Darn right.
I'm curious what your list is.
My list is quite varied.
All right.
So my first one, my number 10, is Trivial Pursuit, Lord of the Rings edition.
I completely forgot about that one. I probably would have put it on
How
the list.
could you forget this?
I forgot.
So my little story, Hunter. How you can forget this, I don't know. But Hunter tracked.
I don't look at that shelf over there that often.
I do.
Our mass market shelf.
Obviously, we don't play Trivial Pursuit very often, and even less often are we going to play Lord of the Rings Trivial Pursuit because, typically I destroy everyone, and Hunter's the only one that would play me. But he hunted down this lovely rare edition of this game and got it for me at one of the first cons that we got to go.
It was.
Was it Dice Tower Con the first time?
No, it was.
Or was it BGG?
BGG Con, and I did it in a virtual market.
Oh, that's what it was. It was a virtual market. Yeah. So he went and hunted that down, and then brought it to the table and like totally surprised me with it. It was really awesome, and it was one of my first like big conventions I got to go to. Period. And it was really cool, and it was really exciting. And I think we actually cracked it out that evening and played a game of it that evening.
Yes. And you beat me barely.
Yeah, it was actually really close. It was fun.
I was doing the standard Trivial Pursuit where you roll and trying to land on the middle and you don't get the number and you don't get the number.
We danced around the middle a lot, but we got lots of trivia questions in, and it was glorious and it's fun because that's like my favorite movie, period, and to play the trivia thing with it was really awesome. So, there we are. My number 10, Trivial Pursuit, Lord of the Rings edition.
Alright,
So what's your number 10?
My number 10.
There's my story. Story time with Luchador.
So you got a story. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I have stories.
All right, here we go. Here's the first story. So my number 10 is Agricola, all creatures big and small. So when we got this game, it was out of print. So the first edition I got. Where did I get the first edition? I don't even remember where I got the first edition. But the stories are the first expansion I got in the virtual market, the same one as the Trivial Pursuit.
Yeah, that's right.
And I bought the expansion, but it came with the base game. So I got the base game and the expansion together. Yep. So then I gave away the base game. Then I wanted the other expansion, and I ordered it from Paris.
I forgot about that. That was like one of your first international purchases, right?
There was a random toy store in Paris that had it for sale. And I bought it at retail. Like it was like $16, but shipping was like another $15, but it was still cheaper than what it was going for in a secondhand market.
Yep. So. Very cool, very cool.
So there you go. There is my number 10, Agricola, all creatures, big and small.
Good one, good one. Good pick. All right. My number 9 is Ticket to Ride 10th Anniversary Edition.
Forgot about that one, too.
This one, we liked Ticket to Ride, and it's a great family game, and it's fun. We don't get to pull it out very often, but we loved it so much that we decided to bling it out when we could afford to. Hunter finally bit the bullet and got the cool game, and we just fell in love with all of the cool little pieces, and it's great family memories, and we still get to pull it out occasionally, of course, and play it, but it makes it all the more fun just to have the cute little trains and everybody talk about the trains and the cards and everything. It's just, and the board is ridiculously huge. I mean, the board was big enough before, but then they felt the need to make it larger, and so it's like our whole table for Ticket to Ride now. I don't know, there's something just epically just over the top fun with that game, and it just looks really cool, and it's really fun to play, and anybody can play it. That's the best part. So
yeah, I think this one was a Christmas gift for you, if I remember correctly, so that's probably why you thought about it before I did.
Yep, love it. Love it.
Good one.
Good family stuff.
Yeah, this is it's if you love Ticket to Ride, you should have this version.
It's really worth nice. The splurge. If you really love Ticket to Ride and you play it a lot, you should get it. It's neat. They did a beautiful job. Each of the different types of trains are in little tins of their own, and each train set is different. Like there's one that's got cute little like circus ones, has little giraffes sticking out of each of the cars, and there's one that's I can't remember.
Cabooses.
The little cabooses. It's all the oil cars.
Coal cars.
Oh, it was coal cars. Yeah. You're right. They're just it's adorable. It's adorable, and so it's fun.
All right, my number 9. What's my number 9? Oh, my number 9 doesn't have a story. It's just an awesome game.
No story?
No story.
There's lots of stories with that game. What are you talking about, sir?
What the heck is that image? Oh, it's your image.
Wow, spoilers.
Spoilers.
Fire the IT guy. I believe I say this.
It's hard to see in this mask. Ziya, Legends of a Drift System. This is just a awesome game. I don't know how long, it was a Kickstarter version. I don't know how long this is going to be in print, and it's just, I love it. It's one that doesn't hit the table very often. That's why we rarely play it, because it's the setup and the takedowns pretty massive. Extensive. I'm thinking about getting the Meeple Realty thing, and maybe that'll help with the setup, takedown. But it takes a long time to set up. It takes a long time to play. Even if you play a shorter game, 2 players, it still takes a while to play.
Yes.
And the put away is just a beast. You just don't even want to put that game away.
You're like, strong.
So this one is screaming for an insert, and maybe that'll help us get it to the table. But
yes,
I love it. Love it. And again, I don't know how, since it's kind of rare to find, I think it's something I want to keep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
You're doing all Nacho Libre stuff. Alright, there it is. Ziya, Legends of a Drift System. No story. Just a great game.
There's some great stories about playing that game, though.
There is some great stories about playing that game.
We've made some good stories. So, do we have the Ziya expansion?
Yes.
And it is glorious.
Yeah, it has that.
That is glorious.
I love what it did with the economy system. It improved the economy system. It made it, there's kind of a flaw in the original game where if you have 2 planets close to each other where you can buy a good and sell it, and you just go back and forth really fast between those, you can crank out the victory points. Of course, smart players will take their ship in the middle of that area and just start blowing you up as you're doing that, but
I like how you said smart players. You mean piratey players.
Yes. If you let them get away with it. I mean, that's the balancing factor, right? If you let someone get away with it, then it's going to happen. But all you got to do, if you see a person abusing that, you just go and blow them up. But Ziya, the expansion, makes an economy where the more you sell a good, the less valuable it is and that sort of thing. So it has a way to weight. Like there's a supply and demand for the goods, and if there's no demand for a good, you can't really sell it.
Yeah. So occasionally it can take the fun out of merchanting unless you get creative with it, or turn to a life of crime temporarily to make ends meet.
It just forces you to rotate between more than one.
No, it's
good,
true.
Right?
Yeah, you don't just make your little shipping route and call it good. You can't get away with that anymore. So
and there's a few other things. It has comets. It added more stuff. It added another NPC. Well, if you get the original Kickstarter, you got the sellsword, but if you got the expansion, you had the option to buy the sellsword, and
yeah, it's cool.
Just lots of cool stuff.
Good stuff.
The main thing was that it fixed the economy problem. It added more cool things. It added some dice mitigation, like when you move, you're like rolling 8-sided. If you get a 1, you get a 1 and you move 1 space. But you can buy mods for your ship that modify your dice rolls that help you. Puts a minimum, like if you get a mod, maybe the lowest you can roll is a 3 or whatever. So it modifies just a lot of cool things. It took all the minor, I consider very minor problems with Ziya and completely turned it around and fixed them and made it more interesting.
Yes. Good stuff. Speaking of turning to a life of crime, my number 8 is all about that. Half about that. It is Merchants and Marauders. And yes, this is such a good, this game. We don't get to play this one very often because it's an epically large game. It takes quite a while to play and set up and everything, especially if you get the amazing expansions. What is it, Lost at Sea or something like that?
Seas of Glory.
Seas of Glory. I know Seas something. Seas of Glory. And those are wonderful. We like to mix and match a lot of those with it. In fact, I don't think we'll ever play just the base game because we love so many of the expansions. But because of that, we've got the setup again for that is pretty intense. There's a lot to it, and there's so much going on. It's really one of those that's really hard to play that game if you have a lot of interruptions. So as a parent, it's kind of rough to play that game without, having some time just set aside for it. Fantastic game. Love this game. We have so many great memories. This was probably one of our first really big games that we just played for hours and hours. Probably one of our first long games.
Yeah, and
it's just...
I think the reason it doesn't hit the table is I don't think it's as interesting 2 players.
Yeah, well, I don't know with the expansions it is, but you're right. We do like to play it multiplayer.
Because you could just by chance end up on the opposite sides of the board, and you have almost no interaction. I mean, you could force the interaction and go to the other player, but if all the things you're getting and the quests and rumors and things you're getting over here on this side, and you're over here doing something over here, we may not interact. With a third player, there's always interaction.
Yeah, absolutely. So it adds to it. We enjoy 3 players more than 2 players with that just because of all of the interaction, but it's fun with that. So yeah, you're right. We tend to hold off until we have a chance to actually play with more people. But it's just, oh my gosh, that game's a riot. And we've had so many funny stories. Hunter has, on at least one occasion, had every single country against him and could only go to his home port. Just some of the bounties and things. It was just hilarious. Or, the time that you and Carl spent so much time killing each other. It was one of our first games that I just sat around and did merchant stuff and won because you guys were too busy fighting each other. Oh, I had lots of fun. I was laughing at you guys, and I'm like, I'm going to buy this good over here.
So someone in the chat had a very good question, and it's very appropriate since it's my 9 and your 8. Ziya or Merchants and Marauders, if you had to get rid of one?
Oh, that, normally I jump right into the space games, but that's really tough. Wow.
They're similar games, but yet they're very different.
Very different. Yeah.
They have similar feels to them, right?
Wow.
Well, my pick would be Ziya. I would take Ziya, but it's close.
I would say Ziya by a hair. By the tiniest hair? That's a really tough one.
It's a good question.
Yeah, that's a good one. Very tough question.
All right.
Thankfully, I don't have to choose.
All right, so my number 8. Let's see what I think we're back to story time. Let's see.
Story.
Nope.
No stories?
No story. It's a great game, though.
I feel very let down.
Gotta take your picture off. I don't wanna. My number 8 is Star Trek Fleet Captains.
Ooh, excellent pick, sir.
So this is just another amazing game that I would just never get rid of it because I got several expansions for it. I love the game. I love the little ships. I love the theming. I love how the game plays. I love how every faction is very, very different from each other. The Federation is mostly exploring and science. The Klingons are attacking and
cloaking.
in a lesser degree exploring, and then the Romulans are doing corruption. They're trying to they do intrigue. They do try to do like spy things. They like take over your crew guys and do all sorts of Romulan thingies. And Dominion, I have no idea because we haven't played it yet, but I'm sure it's got a really cool theme as well for that faction as well.
It's gonna happen.
It's just, I don't know. It's one of the first big games we bought, and we immediately fell in love with the heavier games, and I think this is one of the first heavy games we played. So
plus it was the first game that we'd actually seen that was Star Trek much of anything, and it was a good game on top of that, so we totally geeked out on the Star Trek thing.
Right.
So it was
and the little ships are awesome.
The little ships are cool. I love the hero clicks set up with those. They're really good and they're sturdy, so thankfully you accidentally drop one on the floor. It's like, oh no, you didn't break it or something.
Yep. So that's just another great game.
Good game. All right. My number 7, in my opinion, does not hit the table near enough. But again, time is the factor here. And this one we only play 2-player. And that is War of the Ring. Such a good game. We don't get to play it very often. But we did get a few. We've got some expansion stuff. We've got Treebeard and... Didn't you just get something else?
Oh yeah, we got two expansions.
You got some cool... Played. Yeah, we haven't had a chance to play yet. That tells you how often we get this to the table. It's really hard to get this one to the table because the setup's kind of a beast, of course, because you have to set up all these armies. I mean, it's setting up a war game, for crying out loud. So you have all these armies and miniatures. You got to have everything set up. And because we play it infrequently, we have to kind of do a quick run through the rules again to make sure we understand it, which gets quicker each time because we're more familiar with it now than we were the first time we played it, obviously, but still you have to spend a little bit of time doing that. And then, of course, when you're done, all of your armies that kind of look alike are all mingled, and you have to separate them and put them away.
Yeah, it's another one.
It
Setup
is
a beast. We got to, like you said, relearn the game.
It's a beast.
The game is a 3 to 4 hour game. Then there's another, you got to sort and separate and pack it up again. So,
yeah.
It's basically an all-day affair.
It is.
And it takes up the entire table plus. And
oh, yeah, it's a beast. And we usually have, our tray table on the side for stuff. So, there you go.
Good choice.
It's an awesome game. And, again, we're huge Tolkien fans. So, of course, getting to go through that. It's like, oh, this is so awesome. So, we get to geek out on it. It's another geek out game.
Yep.
There you go.
All right. My number 7.
Your number 7?
Story time. I got a story for this one.
Story time.
So we were at Dice Tower Con. Is it Dice Tower Con?
Yeah. I don't know what game it is.
Yeah, it was Dice Tower Con a couple years ago.
And, our first Dice Tower Con. Woo woo.
And we were walking through the hall, and someone was setting up a game. Or did he join us after we? No, he joined us and showed us how to play a space game. And then, later on, we were walking through the flea market.
Yes.
And a guy was selling Core Worlds with all the expansions and a broken token insert for a song and a dance. And she did the dancing and I did the singing. And we purchased it. And Rebecca was so happy that we got it because we really loved it. We fell in love with the game immediately the first time we played it.
Yeah.
And we only got a taste of the expansion, so we were like,
this is cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yep. Core Worlds. Oh, you're right. We don't get to play this very often, which is crazy because it has the broken token stuff and everything. I think it's just, I don't know. I'm not sure why. I think we think it takes more setup than it does.
And maybe we think it's a longer game or a heavier game, and maybe it's a lot to learn and all
it's
that
not.
stuff. But it's none of those things.
It's none of those things.
But we're finding when you have a large collection, you just overlook games. You just overlook some games every once in a while.
I know, and it's sad because this one is So much fun. I love this game. This game is one of the best, like, fun deck building space games. All that good stuff. Spacey, happy goodness.
Yeah, and the guy that taught us was really, really nice, and
yeah, they're awesome.
He let me win.
No, he didn't. Maybe he did.
Maybe he did.
He probably did.
No, the fact that Rebecca's eyes lit up when we purchased it means that it's not leaving the collection.
You're so sweet.
Happy wife, happy life. That's my number 7, Core Worlds.
That's a good one. My number 6 comes with a story that you guys have actually already heard.
Oh dear. we may purge this one to buy a new copy of it.
No, that's not purging it though. We're just getting a new copy because we're beating the tar out of our cards.
It's almost dead.
It is, and that is Pit. And you guys have heard the story of us terrorizing my poor little baby Nessa when she was an infant. And we were getting into the game so much that she thought we were yelling at each other when we were just playing the game and being loud. So there's that. And it's just every time we've played this game, it has been a riot. And it's been like one step away from people flipping tables or jumping over the tables. Actually, I think we've probably had some leaping over tables anyway. But I mean, every single time, it's crazy fun. People shrieking. Your horse by the end of it. Hunter needs to take a nap. He's exhausted.
Oh
it's just hilarious. This game, it's insane.
It's like instant adrenaline when that bell rings, man. I could like lift up a car.
You probably could. It's like Pit. Yeah, it's
that's amazing. A good choice. I don't know if that's a not purge though. I mean.
Yeah. We're not getting rid of that.
Are we going to keep our busted up old copy?
Heck yeah. We'll frame it. There you go.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Not my first thing that would pop in my head. But...
Well, it wasn't my first thing either. It was my 6th. Just saying. Did you just bark at me, dog?
All right.
You getting sassy? Come here,
my
sassy.
number 6 is...
What's your number 6?
I don't know. Let's see.
Lady wants to contribute.
Oh, jeez. My number 6 is...
Hi, everybody.
Age of Empires 3.
Good one.
Age of Discovery.
Good one.
Your notebook's kind of fading out our words. They're going the wrong way.
Huh? Oh.
So this is another story time. This was also in the flea market. I bought a lot of games out of the flea market that year. I don't know how we got them all home.
Very carefully.
But so I was going through the flea market and I saw this game and I'm like, I've been wanting it forever. And it was for sale at the Dice Tower table. And so the Dice Tower, if you've ever been to Dice Tower Con, they have the Dice Tower auctioning is they have all the games splayed out. So they have at one end they have the expensive games, the high price games, and then right after that it's like super low price games, and then it kind of goes back up as you go down, right? So it's like the $5 games, $10 games, or whatever. But then there's the expensive table, and this one was sitting on the expensive table. So this is our first con, so I didn't know what was going on. But Jason was standing in front of the table, wheeling and dealing.
That's right. That was funny.
And so I was like, okay, how much for Age of Empires? I asked Jason how much. He said, like $100. I'm like, what? Are you really? He's like, yeah, $100. I'm like, that's way too expensive. I'm like, your box is all beat up. You know, I'm sitting here haggling with him. And I don't think at the time Jason knew we were contributors.
No, well, he knew we had done like painting or something with him. He was wheeling dealing with everybody. He didn't care.
Well, anyway,
he didn't care.
So I'm sitting there talking him down. I think I talked him down to like $80, and it's still, I think it's too much. And Tom looks over and says, "He's a contributor. Give it to him for $20."
Jason about had a heart attack.
Jason's like, Tom.
That was too funny.
So that's the story. And then just to add insult to injury, I said, how much for Granada? And I think I got Granada for $20 too.
You're a mess.
Or El Grande.
El Grande?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
So yeah.
Heckling with Jason's funny.
Jason's like heart dropped when Tom said $20.
Tom didn't want to carry all that junk back home. He did not care. Jason was like...
So anyway, that's my number 6. Yeah. Age of Empires is awesome.
You gotta go do
worker
that.
placement game. What I like about it, quickly, so we can move on to the next one. It has one of the cool mechanisms I like in some, very rarely in games, are your workers are different. You start off with crappy workers and you can upgrade them into cool workers. They have special abilities and you can use those. They're more efficient. You can use them anywhere.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
But it's more efficient if you use them in certain areas.
Yeah, and it's it's funny because it's not that long of a game. I guess because it's on the top shelf in our board game stuff is why it doesn't get down as much as it probably should, because it's not hard to relearn. You can pretty much jump right back into that game.
Yep.
It's such a good
game.
They
have a newer version that's come out, but I like my Tom Vassal special version.
Yeah, I know, right? It has that sentimental value to us because we're nerds. But yeah, that and on top of it, just side note that is related though. If you do get to go to Dice Tower Con ever, do go check out the flea market. It is a amazing riot of activity.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
It's pretty, and you can make some deals, especially when the thing's about to shut down, because a lot of people don't want to take their games home. They don't want to take
their stuff home. So. Yeah, so it's worth it. It's fun.
You see people walking out of there with like 20 games.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Yeah. You don't want to know how much people spent though. Sometimes you get some crazy good deals. So, yep, that's a good one.
All right, onward to your number 5.
My number 5 is a pretty new game, but still we don't get to it as often as I would like personally, and that is Star Trek Ascendancy. This has the Star Trek universe again, and again they did a great job of encapsulating like the heart of Star Trek in each one. I think they did an even more tight job on keeping the asymmetrical characters like in theme, because the Federation is really geared up for exploration. The Klingons, oh my gosh, their ability to prepare for war is insane, and if you don't nip that in the bud, they will overrun everyone, you know. It's just, I love the different abilities they have for those, and the way that you form space. I just love that unique idea of where you know, it's a blank slate, right? So where you're exploring, you can branch it out, and every map always looks different to every game. It's fantastic. I love the way they set up the traveling for that. I think that's really fun. It's not as easy for me to pick up and remember as like fleet captains, but I really love the way they set up that game. Just really neat. The map on that is insanely awesome.
So would you say this has replaced the fleet captains?
No.
No? Why?
They're two slightly different games.
They both have exploration. They both have goals. They both have combat.
Yeah, I know, but they have this thing's making my nose itch. It's they have I don't know how to explain it, because the miniatures are really cute, but they're little uniform things, and I really like the Hero Click's ability to adjust your ships. Your ships are, that one's more focused on like episodic to me. Like you think about the ships and how they survive an episode and things like that. This one's more like the entire, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like the whole universe. It doesn't go into as much detail.
Yeah,
right?
It's like you pull back a little bit.
Yeah.
You don't worry about who's flying the ships.
Yeah, you don't worry about the captain. Yeah. You don't worry about the crew so much. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to go for. So for me, it's kind of like, do you want the more like generic Star Trek overall, like space exploration theme, or do you want to go in and like tweak your ship and mix and match your crew members and all their abilities? So
I think Fleet Captains is a little more thematic than Ascendancy. Ascendancy's more of a combat game. I mean, it has theme to it, but it's more of a combat game.
Yeah.
All right,
there you go.
Good choice.
Yep.
All right, my number 5. My number 5. Number 5. Let's see what it is. Oh.
Oh!
My number 5 is Conquest of the Empire.
That was a good one. That was good. I should have thought of that.
So this game was my favorite game in high school, probably. I played it over and 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 over again. And at some point I purged all my games. I guess I had like, I don't know, my brain shut off for a period of time, and I sold all my games.
Crazy man.
But I've been searching and trying to find the 1984, I think is the version that I played, copy. But it's just so expensive. And if you can't find it, it's missing pieces, or the boxes beat all the pieces, or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, you just can't find a nice copy of it. And we were walking through the Dice Tower. Dice Tower Flea Market. It was Dice Tower, right?
Was it?
Was it Board Game Geek? It was Board Game Geek.
It was Board Game Geek.
Yeah,
this was a Board Game Geek.
Some flea market at a con.
They're all blurring together now. Madness of
So I was walking along, and I just I caught out of the corner of my eye that Richard Borg was standing there
No, that was Dice Tower.
Was it Dice Tower?
That was Dice Tower.
He was standing there selling games. And
I
was like, oh, I gotta stop and see what he's selling.
I forgot about that.
And so I'm kind of looking at what he has, and he has mostly war games for sale because that's his main thing is war games. And I'm like kind of perusing, and I catch at the top shelf. I see this version, the 2005 version of Conquest of the Empire at the top. I'm like, oh. But it was like $80. And I'm like, it's not the version I want, and $80 is a bit much, and it's super heavy, and we're going to have to take it back for the airport.
Yeah, because this time we were flying.
So he saw me looking up at it, and he's like, half price.
That guy's funny.
Because he didn't want to take it back home either. And so I pull it off the shelf, and the shrink's off, and I pull it open. And he's like, the only thing I did was open one bag of miniatures and pull a miniature out and put it back in and read the rules. That's all he
had done.
That's
it
all
had
he
been punched. It was nuts. So
it was basically mint condition. So I'm like, sold American.
Yeah. And end of the story. We managed to fit everything in the suitcases. It was a miracle. The end.
She Tetris stands many. I mean, then we had Conquest of the Empire, El Grande with all the expansions, Age of Empires.
No, Age of Empires we got the first year.
Was it?
We were driving that year.
Oh,
so,
yeah. So it didn't
no,
matter.
but we did have a lot of games. But I think that was our biggest, heaviest one this time around. So yeah, it was pretty free.
Matt says it's top 10 games with a good story behind it. but think about it. That's one of the reasons why you wouldn't purge a game, right?
Yeah.
Is that it has some kind of sentimental value, or it was a gift or something like that.
There you go.
Those would be the ones I would keep. Even over probably my favorite games, sometimes I would keep the ones that have meaning behind them, right?
Yeah. Yep. Indeed. That's funny.
All right, so that's my number, 5?
Uh-huh.
Conquest of the Empire.
So, you asked me earlier if one had replaced the other, and...
Here it comes.
Yep. My number 4 is Fleet Captains. Because, they're that close to me. I almost thought about just putting them together as as number 5 or whatever. And figured you guys would all, especially you, would have a cow. Because it's 2 different games. But yeah, this was our first, big game. Right. This was our first splurge game. This is the one we spent a lot of money on.
Yeah, it was. We bought it at the friendly local game store, and it was $100.
Yeah, so this was a huge purchase for us, especially back then. We had Nessa. Wasn't she a baby?
This was before Nessa, I think.
No, we had Nessa. I'm pretty sure we had Nessa. So yeah, Nessa was a baby, so this was a huge purchase. And it was our first game, and we just ate it up. We loved this game. So, I mean, we already talked about it, so I'm not going to,
this may be our most played heavier game.
Probably, yeah. Yeah. Love it.
Good one. All right, my number 4 doesn't have a story, but
lame.
It's going to make Tommy happy.
Oh.
My number 4 is War of the Rings with the animal expansion. I don't need to go into this. This is one of my all-time favorite games. I love it. But like Rebecca said when she went over it a little bit ago, it just never hits the table. And we basically have to say, today we're playing War of the Ring, and that's our day. We get babysitting, and that is the whole day for us.
So
because
that's tough.
It's long. It's probably the next time we play, because we're going to play with everything, it's probably going to be 6 hours end to end. And that's a whole day for us. And with kids, if we had kids here, it's going to be 14 hours.
Inevitably.
So I'm not going too far in it. It's just one of my all-time favorites. You guys know that. That's why it's on the list. I would never get rid of this game unless magically out of the clouds part and the collector's edition lands on our table.
Oh, okay. Yes, I was about to get mad at you, but no. Okay. That happens. We're also going to buy our mansion in the wilderness.
Yes.
And win the lotto.
Yep. So what's your number 3?
My number 3 is woefully out of print, but I hear that
you did the board?
I did, because what's the point? It's out of print. And the board looked out of focus. So, it is Pillars of the Earth. And I sent you a lovely picture of the board because it's lovely. This game is beautiful. There's a reason people rant and rave about it. And I think this was one of your first, search and destroy missions where you're I must research and find out how to get this game.
This was my first used game purchase.
Yep. And we were not sorry about that. It is still one of my top worker placement games, period. It's got great mechanisms in it for, like, the turns and how you get resources, stuff that you don't really see copied in other games, which still baffles me. It's like, why aren't more people using these things? And it's got this cute, cheesy thing about how you know which round it is by you're building up the church in the middle. You can kind of see it in the middle of the picture over there. There. And you're not very good at this. I'm just kidding. But no, so you put one piece at the end of each round on and build your little church up. And so it's cute. You have a little church in the middle of all this. And it's really easy. The board, it's like a piece of art, but it's got information on it, so each round you don't have to sit there and look at any of the rules. You just go in numerical order around the board and do what it's got. It's really, really neat game.
It's a great design.
It's a great design.
The only reason I didn't put this on my list is it's about to be reprinted, supposedly.
I don't think we're going to replace it, though.
But I'm saying that if let's say the reprint comes out and it has all the expansions and it has everything super cool, maybe. We love it that much. Looks like we upgraded Ticket to Ride. If it's an upgrade,
maybe.
That's the only reason I did.
This would be a really cool gift to somebody that was a nut about the game, though. Ooh.
Yeah. So yeah, I believe the reprint is coming with the expansion, which we do not have. So anyway.
Okay.
So that's the only reason I didn't put it on the list.
We're not purging it though. We'd just be upgrading. Purging is getting rid of it.
We might.
No way. Not happening.
All right.
I'll whoop you.
All right, my number 3. I think the last 3.
Stories.
Last 3 are all stories.
Story time.
So my number 3 is Compatibility.
Yay!
This may be. Is it the first gift we got from a fan?
Yeah. Second. We got the cool little dice bags from Sharon.
Oh yeah. That's right. That's right. All right. So first game gift.
Game gift.
Anyway, this was a gift from a viewer, and
it's from viewers.
For a while, I've been trying to hunt this down, and supposedly it's in every thrift store in America.
But ours.
'Cause I went to literally like 12 thrift stores around Dallas, and it did not have this.
That's hilarious.
It had 1,000 of those VCR games and Trivial Pursuit, and
apparently all the gamers in DFW really scrounged through.
So I looked and I looked and looked, and then I started looking at eBay, and the prices were just outrageous for a really. I mean, this is a super cheap game, and they were charging $60, $70, $80 for it. And I'm like, I was just throwing up my hands, and then Lewis sent the game to us. He heard about it. He obviously was a viewer and saw that my struggles touched him. And he sent us basically a brand. The box is beat up, but it was still basically in shrink.
Oh
right?
yeah, it was in shrink and stuff. Yeah. That thing was it's great. Yeah. So thank you, Lewis, and your lovely wife. You guys are awesome.
Yes.
And we got to play this with you guys too on the internet, which was hilarious.
It was fun.
I'm enjoying that immensely.
We gotta do that again. I think we gotta do it again. What we should do is do it with throw in some board game themed stuff, like questions.
Oh yeah.
To make our own questions.
You did a little bit. You made a theme out of the questions last time.
Did I?
Yeah, you put I
did do board games. I did do board games. You're right.
Stuff.
Such a great idea.
See? It's such a great idea.
That's it.
Again.
Number 3, Compatibility. Not a super amazing game. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it.
It's just silly fun. It's awesome.
But it was a gift, and I like gifts.
And it was super awesome.
Yep. Totally unexpected.
Yeah, that was. It was such a cool surprise. All right. We're on number 2.
Yes.
And this one is one of those that, again, kind of like Pit, is just so awesome. And it is Time's Up, Title Recall. So many good memories of playing this already, and we've only played it a handful of times. And it's one of those that, knowing that we can pull this out anytime and have a good time with it. Yeah. Absolutely love this.
Yeah, it's one of those games that gamers and non-gamers can enjoy.
Yeah, it is. If you've paid attention to generic, mainstream music over the years and big movies and titles and things like that, you're going to do fine in this. It's just a riot. And we got to play it with Dice Tower peeps, which was amazing. We played it with my parents. I can't wait till like the girls have enough reference and are old enough to catch it to be able to play it, because
we could make our own deck that they would know.
That they could do. Yeah. That's true. That would be pretty fun. And it's just, it's one of those that it's a great, rowdy, goofy, silly, fun game. And I'm actually trying to think of an excuse. I don't know. We may need to take that to
really high.
DGM or something. Yeah, I love this game. I had a blast playing it. Of course, you all know I'm not very shy either. That's part of it.
I'm shy.
You are not. Be quiet. So, you're obnoxious. But, no, yeah, if you're shy, this probably isn't for you unless you, like, make some deal with your teammates that you're only ever going to guess or something. But it's, oh gosh, it's such a fun game. It's so ridiculous. So, check that one out. Never getting rid of it. Hunter tries to do that, I'll smack his hands. Time's up. Final Recall. There you go.
My number 2 is... Let's see what it is. What is it?
Oh my goodness! I totally didn't even think about this game. Oh,
my number 2 is Vampire Reader. I have 2 stories for this one.
That's true, you do.
Two stories for this one. So the first story is, we went to West Texas Tabletop Con, which was Rebecca's first board game convention, my second board game convention, and Sam and Z were there.
Yeah.
And this is the first game that we played with Z.
Yep.
First game we played with either one of them. But, and it was really fun. Everyone was laughing and role-playing it up, and it was just a great, great time. And that's when I got the little spark that I said, hey, maybe we can do this Dice Tower thing. And so it kind of started this whole Luchador madness.
That's true.
So that's story 1. Story 2, Rebecca can tell the other story.
Oh, I'd been hunting this down forever because, of course, as you all know, Z is very good with finding quirky games that are like out of print or extremely hard to find. Well, this is only sold in like 1 or 2 stores in Japan. And so I had been hunting around and I could find people that would be willing to sell it if I lived in Japan, but wouldn't ship it overseas and all this kind of stuff. So I just kind of sat and was waiting. And one of our viewers, Julian, you were awesome, was like, hey, I can get that for you. So I worked a deal with Julian, and he like went and actually traveled and went and got the game and then shipped it. Like, super awesome. Went out of his way to help me get the game. And so we got it shipped from Japan in time for a nice surprise for you, although as soon as you saw the package, you probably knew what it was.
Well, that Japanese symbols all over the box. I'm like, okay.
No, it was super awesome. So that was really fun. That was a fun little secret shenanigans. Yep. So I actually have purchased a board game, people, just so you know. There you go.
All right.
That was fun.
That's a good one. Glad I thought of it.
Huh.
You forget about that one?
I did. I did, actually.
What's your number 1? Let me think.
You're probably not going to think about it.
What's my number 1? What's Rebecca's number 1? Give me just one moment. I mean, a perusal. I'm guessing it's family-ish. Ah! It's in the box right over there. Is it up on top?
Zombie dice?
No. In the
box of rocks?
No, in the little box.
Star Realms?
Yes.
No, that's a good one, though.
Oh, okay. I have no clue.
That's a good one.
What's your number 1?
Short list. Viticulture!
Viticulture?
Yes.
I'd so purge that game.
What? Excuse me, we're about to have some technical difficulties. No, Viticulture, I don't know what it is, why this particular game. Maybe because it was one of those that we researched it, and eventually everybody raves about this game, and we walk by it at the store and are like, the cover looks boring. And this was one of our first games that just surprised the socks off of us and really got us into worker placement hardcore. And there's just, I don't know. And I think that was also one of the first games that we really got, I felt like we're really into board gaming now. And this was that game for me.
That's true. That's true. It kind of did spark the let's buy 1,000 games.
It really did. We just, wow, this is really good. Love this game. And I don't see it, A, dropping off my top 100 list anytime soon. And B, I don't see me ever saying, ugh, I'm sick of this game. I just don't. So, really... You might want to make a sign that says, help me. Yes, because, yeah, it's just, I love that game. It's real simple, but it's a smooth design. It's really fun to play. We love the Tuscany expansion with it, and mix and match that all the time. And finally, it took us forever to get all of those played because, again, like you said...
It was like...
We wanted to try all of them, and of course you want to try all of them now, but when you have munchkins running around, it's, interrupted constantly. So we get to try like 1 or 2, and then we're done for the day, and that kind of thing. So we were like, oh, we would have played
That may be our most played game that takes over an hour.
Mm-hmm. I think it is.
Yep.
And just, I don't know, it just
But we haven't played it lately, though. You're right. We haven't really played it anymore.
Mm-mm. And it's one of my favorites, period. Top of the list.
Good one. Good one.
That's Viticulture.
Not good enough to make my list, but good one.
What is wrong with you?
All right, story time.
You picked a good one, too. I'll let you live.
Story time. My number 1 is...
That's awesome.
Blood Bowl 2nd edition. For so many reasons. This was my absolute favorite game in college. In a fit of madness, I sold all my games. I regret that. I've been looking for this one to try to buy it, and Rebecca's parents gifted it to me for my birthday.
Yeah.
For my birthday, and so it's a gift. It's one of my all-time favorite games, but I'm never going to get to play it unless I find a group of knuckleheads to play a league with me or something.
Unless you want me to lose to you again. I'm cool playing it. I just am not that great at it. I love playing that game. It was fun. It was really fun.
You got spanked pretty bad.
I did get beat up in that game. Literally and figuratively. That game, my players got beat up. My score got beat up. Yeah, it was great. Part of it was because I'd have to roll. And I had some very unlucky rolls. Like you said, you were talking in a previous video about how funny it is to roll and you're like running... You're like going to make a score or something, and then you roll something crappy, and next thing you know, you tripped and somehow fell on your face, hurt yourself, and the ball fumbled, and I'm like, that was me in a nutshell in that game. So yeah, but it was wonderful. It's a fun game.
I love that game.
And you should have seen his face when he opened this. Oh my gosh, it was glorious. He was not expecting it. It was out of left field.
Cool. I did not. I'd given up the search because, again, it's another one of those games that if you find it online, it's like, everything's fine, but 4 pieces are missing, or everything's fine, but the board's broken in half, or everything's fine.
Old. It's an old game, yeah.
And this one came basically unpunched.
Yeah, that was
crazy. Opened, and the only thing that was, it wasn't really punched. It's just so old
some of the pieces
have fallen out of the punch and things. So, and that's all it was. I mean, nothing was opened. The cards were in shrink and stuff like that. So,
yep.
There it is, Blood Bowl 2nd edition, my number 1 game that I would not purge, but I don't get to play it because I need some knuckleheads to play with me.
Come on down, knuckleheads.
That's it, folks. That is the end of our list. I'm actually going to remember to take the thing off here.
No way. That's awesome.
So if you have any questions, we'll answer a few questions, but we're going to go straight into an unboxing.
Okay. Oh, I saw what makes Viticulture so good. I think part of it is the way they designed it by seasons. You get to do certain things by seasons, and you've got a process, so it's worker placement, but you're also kind of building your own vineyard engine. So you need to be able to have a productive field, and you have to harvest, and then you have to transform it into wine to fill orders. And so you have to go through that process, and you want to build up an engine where you're getting enough grapes that you're able to make all these wines, because you can mix wines together and make champagnes and different things, but it takes a lot more grapes to do that. So you want to produce those, and the special abilities on the cards, a lot of them, wow, this is really good. wow, this is, it's like there's so many. It's another one of those games where you have a lot of good options, and it's not like you're like, oh, I'll take the bummer option. You never feel like you're losing out on something, even if you get locked out of what you want to do. And that's why I like that game.
The reason I like it is that it's fairly unique in terms of worker placement. She kind of touched on it, is that in the base game, in the Viticulture base game, there you have, I think, just 2 seasons, right? It's effectively 2 seasons.
Yeah, it's only the 2 seasons.
But you have your workers, and you can't just put them all on one season, then you get them back, and you put them all on the next season. You have to think. Someone say something in chat.
Yes, just keep going.
You have to say, okay, I need in the second season I need to use 2 workers, so that only leaves me for 1 worker for this season. So what do I really want in this season? You have to plan ahead. You can't just, in most worker placement games, you put all your workers out wherever you want, then they all come back, and then you do it again. This one, you put some in the first season, then whatever you have left over, you get to use for the next season, etc., etc. And Tuscany takes it to the next level because there's 4 seasons in Tuscany, so you have to even plan more in that game.
And it's awesome. I love the way they broke it up into the 4 seasons, because at first in fact, it was another one of those we hesitated to buy for a while, because we love Viticulture so much. We don't want to break our game that we love, because we'll never see it the same way once we do those expansions. And yeah, the 4 seasons and stuff, it actually made it smoother. It's so much fun to try to manipulate when you're going to put your dudes, and you have specialty workers, and it's amazing.
Yeah,
good stuff.
It's probably my favorite worker placement game. So
yeah,
there's that.
Sorry, I got distracted by the. Oh, go ahead.
All the blood stuff. Is that
yes,
what you're laughing about?
yes, because
Blood Rage, Blood
Bowl,
vampires.
Yes, Vampire Radar. They think you have some kind of blood infatuation. It's the mask.
All right, so let's do unboxing. Let's do the box first.
The box first. Did you open it, like pre-cut it? Because I don't see any scissors.
It's pre-cut.
Okay, take my coffee.
All right, so here's your clues for the unboxing. We'll make it easy this time.
Holy cow! This is kinda heavy.
2 expansions and a super heavy game.
I was gonna say.
There's your clues.
What's with your legs?
2 expansions, super heavy game. One might be the one I complained about being on the boat. Why did you give me coffee? I hate coffee.
I wanted it out of the way. I didn't want peanuts in it. Oh, cities of splendor. Yeah! Splendor. I'm excited. I like Splendor. I will play this to death. I play this with my friend Megan. Like, oh my gosh, we would sit and play like 15 million games of this if we were able to. And it's just awesome.
Yeah, it's modular. There's 4 different expansions.
Interesting.
Some of them are good, some of them not so good, but I like the trading post sounded really cool. There's new cards.
Very cool.
I don't know if I like the stronghold thing, but we'll see.
We'll see. I am willing to try it. Give it the benefit of the doubt. Oh my gosh, my nose is itchy. This mask is killing me. Ah. Okay. Sorry, I'm distracted. What? Yes! Yes! Oh my gosh, it's expansion madness! We got Jamaica! The crew! Jamaica's another one of those games that is such a blast to pull out and play with people, because the more the merrier in that game. You end up having so many pirate battles if you have more players. It is just awesome. And I cannot wait for this. From what everybody's talking about, this sounds like a blast. And I'm looking forward to
Yeah, you hire a crew that give you superpowers, but they take a slot on your boat. So you got to kind of... Is it worth it or not?
Yeah, I'm doomed. I'm so doomed.
So... This is the one that delayed getting the game that I'm really wanting, which is the last game. This one was supposed to be out in September. Then it was supposed to be out in October. Then it was supposed to be out at the end of October, and it finally came out. So
that's funny.
But that delayed me getting...
Holy cow. I can't even get to it. Ah, holy. Oh my goodness. No wonder this thing's such a beast. Oh, yay. Boom. I'm going to break the table. Look at, I can't even... Hello? I'm still here. Look at this beast! Where are we going to fit this thing? I don't think it fits in the squares. This is ludicrous. This thing is chock full of cardboard. I mean, yeah. Look at how... This is ridiculous. Everybody's like, oh, I'm playing Lisboa again. I love Lisboa. And
Yeah, you know why I didn't have this boa?
Why not?
I didn't have it because this was on the boat.
He's not bitter or anything. Thanks, Jamaica. Hey, don't beat up my game.
Ugh.
And now you can play your tasty game. I still remember when they had this on demo at one of the conventions, and Hunter walks by and he's like, I was like, so go play it. But I can't get it yet because it's only demoing, and it was sad and pitiful.
I didn't want to be teased.
Yeah, and he is, oh my gosh.
I'm excited about this one. I'm really excited.
I bet you he'll be reading a rule book to fall asleep tonight.
Probably.
And he won't fall asleep because he'll be reading this rule book. It's ridiculous. That is a beast of a game. I like how we have, like, light little fluffy game, Lisboa. That was, what a way to throw down. So there you have it. That is some beastness.
See, when I pre-order a game, I always try to pre-order games that have the same release date, but they lie.
Shame on you.
They lie about release dates. So
there you go.
These were all originally September, I think, and they all ended up in October. Well, so this one was
almost
September.
November. This
one was September, I think. The other two, these two came out early. This one got stuck on the boat.
Yeah,
that game. My day.
Our first like. No, we had Merchants and Marauders first, but Jamaica's like our first light, goofy, slap-happy pirate game. It's just a silly game. It's racing. It's fun.
All right, now we got an extra special unboxing. Do you want to preface it?
Yes. So Nerfenstein, someone who I think at least earlier was on the chat at some point, she was like doing some crazy tour in the U.S. shenanigans, but we weren't able to meet up. Our paths did not happen to cross because we found out too late. She didn't realize where we lived, and we didn't realize she was in town in time, and so like we weren't able to meet up. And she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna send you something to make up for it." We're like, "What? You don't have to send anything," but she sent a little package. So we have a mystery package.
Yes.
So let us see, which was so sweet. You're so awesome to think of us. Oh my goodness! Oh, it's adorable! That is precious. Did I see a little thing? What's this note? Should we leave a little thingy on here? Oh, a little bumper sticker. Oh, an Australian bumper sticker. That's awesome. That's so cute. Oh, a little wee thing I brought over for you from Australia. His name is Barobi, and you can learn about him. Oh, he's got a little website. Barobi has a website. Oh. Take care and thanks for all your amazing content. That's awesome. Thank you. Nerfenstein, you're awesome. I don't know if you want your alias publicized. But no, that is so cute.
So he's the mascot of the Gulf Coast.
Gold Coast.
He's
going blind.
I am going blind. The 21 Commonwealth Games. Is this soccer?
What?
Is it soccer? What games is it?
Barobi collection. That's adorable. That's ridiculous. 2018 Commonwealth Games. That's so awesome.
I don't know what that is. I assume it's soccer. I don't know.
That is so cute. The girls are going to flip. I'm going to have to like smack them and be like, no, it's on display. That is too stinking cute. So Hunter's like researching now about our little Barobi. He's adorable. Look at him. He's even got his thumbs up. He's
multi-sport event.
Sweet.
Kind of like a
sounds like the Olympics. Yeah. I wanted to say it was like an Olympic thing. That's
there you
exciting.
Go.
That's adorable. Thank you, Nerfenstein. It's adorable. That is too cute. Now I have to wash my car so I can put a bumper sticker on.
Oh, they asked me what I'm a backer of, so don't worry.
Oh, a backer of?
Can you see my shirt?
Yes. He's backer of FallsCon in Wichita Falls, which I think they're doing that again next year, right?
Yep.
Is he doing that again?
Yep.
So yeah, Carrie Jensen runs this awesome little convention. Next year will be the 3rd year, right? Is that correct? 3rd year?
What's that?
He'll be his 3rd year.
Yes.
And, yeah, had the bear. So yeah, you'll have to keep an eye out for that if you're in the area or think you might be in Wichita Falls or want to come to Wichita Falls. You guys should check it out. He does a little Kickstarter thing to fund it because he did it the first year, but then he didn't have enough funds to be able to pull it off the next
we lost
successive
his
years.
Location. He had to
That's right. They had a really great deal on a location, and he didn't have a location anymore, so he had to do that. And It's really fun. It's another one of those that's all about playing the games with people. They have a nice little library, and people bring their own games too, and just it's super fun. We take the road trip out and do that. And that's another one of those that we've been to every convention of. We're very proud. West Texas and Wichita Falls, baby.
Yep.
We love those conventions. We love our little conventions. They're fun. So, awesome, guys.
I think that's it.
That's it. Yeah. So, that's exciting. We're going to have to check out little guys.
You thanked her profusely, right?
I did. I thank you.
She said
profusely.
that we need to watch the video. She said Nessa will love the video.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I have the little website here. We'll have to check it out with the girls. Yeah, I'm going to have to, keep them from stealing him, because he'll end up disappearing into the stuffed animals of the collection. So, it's too awesome. But thank you guys so much. It's so awesome to get to catch up and chat with y'all, and thank you for thinking of us on your trips and stuff. That's so awesome. So... stay tuned. We have more of Hunter's Top 100 coming up, more Arcadia Quest coming up, and eventually another Top 10.
Don't know yet.
We don't know what yet. We shall surprise you.
Yep. To
be continued. Dun, dun, dun. And have a happy, safe Halloween and other candy-filled holidays in the next couple days. We will see you soon. Goodbye!